So good day everyone. So it's great to see you again. I'm Sir Christian Ibanez, your teacher in Introduction to Philosophy of the Human Person. And today we're jumping into our next topic in philosophy and critical thinking. So basically we've already covered some solid ground in our previous lectures, right? And I'm excited to continue building on that. So far we explored what philosophy is all about. It's about asking big questions and digging deep into the nature of reality. We have morality, diba? That is what we call ethics, and even existence or beyond existence, we call it metaphysics. In this lecture video, we're going to take those ideas and see how they play out in real world context, especially when we talk about Filipino cultural practices in relation to critical thinking. So, have you remembered how we talk about sense of bayanihan, the loob or sense of internal interiority when we discuss about Filipino thinking, I think 2 weeks ago. These concepts aren't just cultural practices, and they're also rich with philosophical implications. And today we'll dig into these ideas even further and use critical thinking to really understand how they influence our views on your identity, on our community. So, uh, critical thinking is like going to be our best friend as we work through these topics. So, I'll help you break down arguments. We need to spot weaknesses and form our own well supported ideas. And we'll be applying this skill to see how philosophical concepts like yung kapwa, bayanihan, impact our everyday lives and even our understanding of social responsibilities. Okay, so our lesson is about philosophy and critical thinking. Now, let's just have an encapsulation of all the natures of philosophy for us to better understand the underpinnings or the foundation of critical thinking. We all know that philosophy is a discipline. Okay, it is also a discipline because it encompasses various questions in life, methods, and perspectives. That's why it's encompassing. And it never confines itself to a portion of human experience or to a certain aspect of human phenomenon. So it enables a person to understand the various aspects, angles, diba? That is our discussion about holistic thinking. To consider all angles or what do you call these dimensions or aspects of all disciplines and paves the way for your understanding of reality. So it's about the comprehensive and coherent worldview. For example, class, di ba most people's concept of humans is not only limited to the kind of society or culture or tradition that they have at the moment. For a, let's say, consistent and coherent worldview of humans, one has to consider the various disciplines and sciences that may affect a person's existence in this world. So that's why you need to consider discipline, yung philosophy, as well as it is comprehensive. Try to compare it analogically in this is what we call a big human puzzle, di ba? There are different pieces, but you need to combine it to see the bigger picture of it. Okay? So that's it. Now, and this lead us to the second point, that philosophy is also concerned with the very foundations of other disciplines. So it is also about analysis. So uh, for example, it is concerned itself with the roots of disciplines such as it goes beyond science, diba? It touches art and even religion. And when we say analyzes class, the very foundation of other disciplines, it means it examines and explore, no, all their underpinnings. When we say underpinnings, it's like yung yung foundation, the basic foundation of a house, no. Without it, the house will be destroyed, di ba? So it explores the underpinnings or the foundations. For example, yung mga philosophers, they do not ask if the conduct or the administration of mercy killing, are you familiar with that? That is euthanasia. We will discuss it more, or much deeper in our lecture about ethics disciplinary. So they don't talk about or don't ask if the conduct or the administration of euthanasia is correct. When we say euthanasia, again, that's mercy killing. It is the practice of ending the life of a patient to limit the patient's suffering. Diba? So the patient in question would typically be terminally ill, or let's say, meron siyang experiencing great pain and suffering. So, diba, it came from the word, from the Greek word eu, means good, diba? Are familiar with Aristotle, eudaimonia? About the good, you, that is good, and thanatos means death. So instead, yung mga philosophers, they question the morality. Tama ba yung action na yun? And the ethical standard from which such act was based. So it analyzes even in the art of medicine. Okay? Now, philosophy is always also on the lookout in putting things to their proper perspective. So it criticizes yung mga treasured beliefs and traditions. When we say treasured beliefs, yung talagang pinahalagan natin. It's like timeless and relevant. So we have that kind of belief, no? Like for example, our mores, our folkways, no, our norms. These are treasured beliefs passed down by generations to generations. So it is intergenerational. But it always has the gift of logical consistencies where it forces to see the importance of one's beliefs, attitudes, and traditions when philosophy is applied. So it's like it weeds out all of the insignificant traces of inconsistency, yung mga superstition, di ba? Like, yung sabi ko nga na every time when we visit a cemetery, our lola, our lolo, every time when we leave na the premise, we need to palina, di ba? Or pagpag, no? So that's part of this superstition, and we respect that because that's their culture. But it's not that it's also necessary to what do you call this, discern a critical mind over it so that we could understand why we are doing such things, diba? And even irrationality, because philosophy encourages us that we need to understand our actions, not just merely following it, diba? So that is being critical. So we're done with this. What is philosophy? It's love of wisdom. So again, I'll include this because you need to be refreshed by the etymological meaning of philosophy, okay, to appreciate about critical thinking. Okay, let's skip this part about the definitions of philosophy because what we have discussed is more of a encapsulation, basically with three meanings from Karl Jasper, di ba? Karl Jasper, from Aristotle, and from Pythagoras. Okay? But now, we have also this what we call two orders of inquiry. Okay? When we say inquiry, we inquire, di ba? Nag-inquire po tayo. Okay? So, when we say inquire, just like when you want to ask questions from the registrar's office, what you are doing, that transaction is what we call inquiry. You are asking something. So that is inquiry. But in the field of education, and even you as learners, we cannot escape the reality of the world of inquiry. Diba? Because every time what our being, our knowing, our doing as students, we are doing inquiry. But in fact, the first order of inquiry is what we call the scientific method. You're very familiar with this. Even though you are what we call modular learners during the pandemic, during the pandemic, still you're in depth about scientific method because this is important and this is common in your curriculum before because scientific method is order. It means there is a logical procedure to follow. You just follow the protocol to come up a reliable answer or even a question. So when say scientific method, it follows first observe, di ba? How to observe by using your senses. After observation, you gather data and you ponder some unique questions. Then you hypothesize. Then you experiment. Then out of your experiments, you do analysis and conclusion. That's the basic order of science or scientific method or the first order of inquiry. But in philosophy, we go beyond scientific method. We called it the second order inquiry. Now, the second order inquiry is what we call a second order discipline, which examines some issues arising in other discipline. It might go beyond science, okay? Because that's why some philosophers, di ba, like John Locke, René Descartes, some of their ideas or concepts are quite weird, di ba? It seems like this is not part of our natural world. Their questions are beyond norms, di ba? They have some weird concepts, but actually it has a practical utility when applied to some of the basic fundamental philosophical questions. Now, in the second order of inquiry class, whenever philosophy is practiced as a second order discipline, it is concerned with, highlight these words guys, interrogating or scrutinizing. Just like your girlfriend, no, mahilig po silang mag-scrutinize. Yung mga jowa ninyo, no, mas expert pa sa NBI kung mag-investigate or mag-interrogate, no, without sufficient evidence, di ba? That is interrogating or scrutinizing specifically certain problems and issues arising from studies going from or in other disciplines. Okay? So, that's it. Now, dito tayo muna. Critical thinking is very important, right? It's not only a concept, but in this world, in this globalized world, we consider it not just a concept, but a very important personal skill. It's a skill. It's a weapon for you to crunch some of the misconceptions, irrationality as well in the world. Okay? Now, ano yung stereotype of philosophy? Because philosophy, being philosophical is being critical. Being critical is being philosophical. But there are stereotypes because there are times or moments that we think we are intellectual, we think we are being critical, but in fact, we are not practicing or doing philosophy at all. Because nagiging stereotype lang siya. Akala natin, pero hindi yun totoo na you are practicing critical thinking. So we need to distinguish what is the correct or the proper way of being critical-minded rather than just assuming or full of pretensions that you are being critical at all. So the stereotype of philosophy. So but before that class, mayroong mga weird topics dyan. But to start, let's define what we mean by stereotyping. Grabe, napaka-rampant ito ngayon. Di ba? Stereotyping. Essentially, class, it's an oversimplified and generalized belief about a group of people, di ba, based on yung mga characteristics ng mga general belief on race, no? Like, for example, sinasabi nila that white is better than black people, ganun, di ba? Merong mga stereotype na ganun pagdating sa race. Yung gender, di ba? Pagdating natin sa gender na may mga stereotypes na bawal ang mga transgender pumunta sa female CR, di ba? We have that mga stereotypes or mga bawal anything na discrimination against gender. Or we also have age, okay? And more, basta tigulang na daw, dili na daw makabuhat ang yani, kaya tigulang na, bata pa ka, dili ka mag-question sa mga ginaingon sa mga adults. So these are stereotypes and even more. Today class, we'll explore why understanding and addressing stereotypes is very crucial, both personally and societally. First, class, let's talk about the nature of stereotyping. Stereotypes often form from this what we call cognitive biases and social influences. So basically, if you do stereotype, you are biased. That's it. That's the reality. For example, we might generalize about a group based on a few observed traits or media portrayals. Very basic. When you have heard your classmate na she is a good singer, therefore you generalize that all Filipinos are good singer. Di ba? So, ganon, that is just basic. But there are both positive and negative stereotypes. And while positive stereotypes might seem yung flattering, di ba? All Filipinos are good singers, di ba? It's flattering. But they can still be harmful and be limiting. So, we considered some common stereotypes. For instance, class, yung the stereotype that women are less competent in technical fields, or that yung mga older individuals are less adaptable to new technology. So these are just a few examples of how stereotypes can manifest in our daily lives. So that's it. Now, are you still there? Shake, shake, shake muna, guys. Please don't sleep. But in the impacts of stereotyping, let's move on. Moving on. Let's discuss the impacts of stereotyping first on the individual level. Stereotypes can damage yung self-esteem mo, di ba? It limits opportunities and even affect personal interactions. Okay, for instance, if a person feels they are expected to meet a certain standard due to their ethnicity, it can create class immense pressure and stress. Now, in the social level or even in the societal level, stereotypes perpetuate yung inequality and division. So, it reinforces yung mga bias and contribute to discriminatory practices. Okay? So, yun po yung mga stereotypes natin. Now, how can we address and combat stereotyping? Paano natin makombat yan? It starts with this what we call personal responsibility. So we need to recognize your own biases and be willing to confront them. It's really essential, class, na to educate ourselves and others about stereotypes and their effects. So critical thinking and openness to diverse perspectives can help challenge these generalized beliefs. So, by being critical, we are able to combat mga negative beliefs and to promote diversity and inclusion. Okay? So, now, we're diving into into some interesting concepts. We have two. That is what we call mental masturbation and intellectual bullying. So, let's start by breaking this down and seeing how they impact us in conversations and discussions. First, let's discuss about mental masturbation. Okay, sir, is there such thing about masturbation in the mind? Yes po, we called it in philosophy mental masturbation. Let's start with this. Class, this is a term for when we get caught up in endless abstract thinking or debating without really making any real progress. Think of it like as an intellectual activity that feels stimulating but doesn't really lead anywhere practical. For example, class, you might spend hours discussing mathematics or hypothetical situations or theoretical concepts that don't actually impact your day-to-day life. Diba? Or you might find yourself trapped in debates about trivial details, yung mga discussions never really lead to actionable outcomes. This kind of thinking can be fun and engaging, but it often ends up with being a way to avoid dealing with more pressing and practical issues. Yan po yung mental masturbation. Like, common ideology dito that yung philosophy dapat na-discuss lang yan sa school and it will remain only in the school. And if it goes beyond the school, that is already not practical anymore. So, for example, kanang mag-discuss ta og isa ni siya kanang sa water gani no? Isa ni siya. Kanang mga oxygen may ana no niya. Magamit ba nato na sa palengke, di ba? Dili mo palit og isda. So may ana. So that is what we call mental masturbation. Parang wala siyang practical utility. On the other side of the coin class is we have this what we call intellectual bullying. So now let's talk about this. Yung intellectual bullying, this happens when someone uses their knowledge or intellectual abilities to put others down, no, or to dominate a conversation. So it's less about exchanging ideas and more about asserting sino yung maangas sa atin, sino yung mas may alam sa atin, that is asserting superiority. So some examples, could someone be publicly ashamed or shaming another person's opinions or using jargon to make others feel inferior instead of having a constructive conversation. So it becomes about showing off or belittling others. Plus, this kind of behavior can really discourage people from speaking up or sharing their thoughts, which isn't great for open and inclusive discussions. Okay, so that's it. Look at the screen, guys. So philosophers always know better and constantly plague us with a lot of questions. But these concepts are stereotypes. We have mental masturbation and intellectual bullying can have really real impacts. For instance, yung mental masturbation can lead to a lot of time wasted on discussions that don't move us forward. So it's really frustrating, no? And even disheartening if you're stuck in a cycle of endless theorizing. Ganun. And, intellectual bullying also can hurt people's confidence and make them feel unwelcome in discussions. It creates a hostile environment where people might, let's say, hesitate to share their ideas. So, what can we do about these issues? For mental masturbation, it's helpful to focus on setting clear goals and steering conversations towards actionable outcomes. And for intellectual bullying, fostering a respect and open-minded environment is the key. Now, dapat merong yung encouragement of strong constructive feedback and value diverse perspectives. Okay?